Do you ever have police coming around and raiding your house looking for your drugs?
Oh, yes.
Do they? Come with sniffer dogs?
They go with... No, they've never brought sniffer dogs, because if they come in here and say, where's your green, I usually tell them.
This video is about the wild misadventures of Pat Tabram, the UK's cannabis granny. The late pensioner who, in the space of 2 years, discovered weed and its medicinal benefits for her, got raided 3 times, went through multiple court cases, stood for Parliament, battled an eviction, and eventually convinced a judge to let her use the medicine in her bungalow. And this entire pantomime took place in a sleepy, quaint village near Hexham, Northumberland. Pat was born in 1939 in South Shields. Before her retirement, she lived an active life working as a nurse, as a welfare worker, and also as a chef. Her and her husband at the time ran the Zodiac Centre restaurant in Edinburgh. I wanted to learn as much as I could about Pat's life, so I read every article that I could find about her, and that was over 130 articles. She later went on to divorce this husband. However, they had 2 children, a boy and a girl. In 1975, Pat suffered a tragedy in her life. She found her 14-year-old son passed away in his bed. This led her to suffering from depression and caused the breakdown of her marriage, she says. Later on in life, she was caught up in 2 car accidents. The most serious of which was when she was hit when she was in stationary traffic on a motorway, and it required her to wear a surgical collar. She suffered whiplash from that incident, and she also had tinnitus in both ears and arthritis in her knee, causing her a great deal of aches and pains. In February 2004, a neighbour called in on Pat because they hadn't seen her for several days. She said she was in a state of despair, suffering from all these ailments. The neighbour actually offered her a joint, which she tried, and she said she was amazed at the positive results. She said that she had the best night's sleep that she'd had in 25 years, and when she woke up, she realised that the joint still had an effect when it came to relieving the painful symptoms. She started experimenting more with weed, realising that 0.1 grams 5 times a day was enough to keep her pain free. That's when she started going to the biker area of Newcastle to pick up 20 bags, £20 worth of weed.
And then I was told this man would come in at about 11:30, and he did. And I said, "Excuse me, are you selling bags of cannabis?" Well, he could see I wasn't a policeman, right? And he said, "Yes." I said, "How much is it?" He said, £20 a bag. And I was expecting a bag, you know. And so I gave him the £20, and he gave me this tiny little bag. I said, "Is that all?" He said, "You'll get a lot out of it, man."
She said that's all she could afford at the time. She started cooking this weed in casseroles, soups and cakes and cookies. Other pensioners in the area shared that they also had various ailments and they would like to try cannabis, so she would share these edibles with them. And apparently the pensioners who had an average age of 75 were getting very good health benefits from it.
In the meantime, people like Granny Pat are still breaking the law to keep the clandestine supply lines open.
I'm just like a little district nurse, really. But instead of going around with injection needles and things, I go around with boxes of food which will keep them pain-free. I'm always nervous that I'm going to bump into the police, the Northumberland police, because they're very exacting. And if they suspected for 1 minute that I had food in here, they'd arrest me.
This time she's only visiting, not delivering, but she's still keeping some secrets.
I wonder if I could ask you gentlemen to stay here, because I don't want the lady in question, who's in her early 80s, to be recognised by the police or anyone in Northumberland. I'll be back in about 10 minutes if that's all right. Okay?
Between February 2004 and May 2004, there was no problems. But in May, one of the people in the local area smelt the cannabis coming from Pat's bungalow, and someone grassed her up or snitched to the police. Bad vibe. In May 2004, Pat's bungalow was raided for the first time. The police say that there was 30 plants growing in the loft, 1 plant on the hallway table, some weed in the fridge and some weed in a bedside cabinet. She was arrested and given a caution at the local police station. In June 2004, she was raided again after the police received another tip-off. This time the police found 242 grams of weed, which was apparently bagged up, ready to supply to the pensioners that she would help with their medical conditions. Police claimed the weed was worth £850. Pat briefly appeared in court in December 2004 to enter a guilty plea for 1 charge of possession with intent to supply of cannabis. Her defence was that her and the other pensioners actually clubbed together a bunch of money to buy a 9-bar because they weren't getting a very good deal when they were buying £20 individual deals. The case was adjourned while the judge could get reports from probation officers and psychiatric reports. She was eventually given a 6-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years and a £750 fine. Suspended sentence, for those who might not know, is when you don't actually serve your prison sentence. It basically means that if you don't do it again for 2 years, then you won't go to prison for it, but you've got that suspended sentence hanging over your head. The judge said, "It might be that you have been trying to tempt the courts into making a martyr of you. I am not going to do this. I consider that this offence merits imprisonment, which I fix at 6 months. However, I am persuaded that there are exceptional circumstances which justifies a suspension of the sentence for a period of 2 years." That was in April 2005. Pat said that she would not stop using cannabis because she finds the law unjust. However, she would stop supplying it. It was at that point that Pat went into politics. Using the media attention that she'd gained from her court case, she decided to enter into the general election in 2005. She was taking on the Secretary of State for Wales, Peter Hain, in his Neath constituency. And she also made it clear that she was going to continue to use cannabis. During the campaign, she said, "It's not going to be easy. I'm a pensioner without much money, but I'm hoping to make my points loudly and clearly." Pat stood for the Legalised Cannabis Alliance. She received 334 votes with 1% of the overall votes. Peter Hain retained his seat. Obviously didn't win, but she was doing a great job at drawing attention to the unjust cannabis laws. In September 2005, Pat's bungalow was raided again. The police said that they were acting on a tip-off again. This time the police found 4 plants grown in her wardrobe and some powdered cannabis in a jar next to her cooker. At that time, aged 68, Pat was found guilty at Carlisle Crown Court of growing and possessing weed and sentenced to 250 hours of community work or community service, unpaid work basically. The sentence was made up of 175 hours unpaid labour. That was for cultivating the 4 cannabis plants, and a further 75 hours unpaid labour for possessing the powdered cannabis. She was also given a £1,000 fine. Pat told the Times newspaper in 2005, "The police raided my home on Friday morning. 3 officers came to the door and said, 'We've got information that you have been growing plants.' They went right through my home and found 4 plants, each about 4 foot high, which I have been trying to grow. The leaves were beginning to go brown and starting to die. I realised that I am going to go to prison. I have been thinking about things over the weekend, and if the police charge me with anything except for my own personal use, I'm going to plead not guilty and go to trial. I'm going to do my best in court, and if I get a bigger sentence, then tough Charlie. I'm just an old grey tubby grandma, but I'm going to fight for this." According to a Guardian article in 2007, it can now be reported that on the second day of Tabram's trial, proceedings were disrupted when she claimed a stash of cannabis she had smuggled into the court in her bra had gone missing. Judge Forrester twice cleared the court for searches to be done and said she was considering calling in the police to investigate. However, almost 2 hours after proceedings were due to begin, Tabram said she had found the drugs which she intended to produce as evidence in her handbag. The jury were apparently unaware of the missing cannabis as the matter unfolded during the legal argument before the trial resumed. After the trial, Pat said, "I am still going to medicate with cannabis. This court is not fit for purpose, and I am taking up an appeal and putting in a complaint about the fact I was not allowed to have a defence." Later that year, in July 2007, Pat's landlord, Casseroles Housing, said they wanted to evict her because of her latest conviction. They applied to Newcastle County Court for a possession order to take her house and evict her. They said that they would recommend that it be sort of suspended for 2 years to give her a place to stay. But yeah, they wanted to boot her out because of her medicinal cannabis. And then perhaps the most surprising thing in this entire affair happened. The judge actually said that Pat could continue using cannabis at home as long as she doesn't cultivate it or supply anyone else with it. If she did either of those two things, then he would actually allow the possession order.
A Northumberland grandmother who refuses to give up using cannabis as pain relief is to be given one last chance to avoid eviction from her home.
Bill Tebay, Chief Executive of Casseroles Housing, said that if she is convicted of supply or cultivation again, we will take action. But the judgment as it stands mean that we will not be taking action if she uses cannabis in her premises. He added, "But it is important to note that this judgment is specific to her and that Casseroles Housing has got a very specific policy about illegal use of drugs in its premises."
I'm using it. I had it this morning in my scrambled eggs. I'll be having it this afternoon at lunch.
Pat never went to court again after 2007, but she never stopped using cannabis. Pat sadly passed away in 2014 after a battle with cancer. She was aged 75. In some ways, this is a very sad story when you consider that the state decided to hassle an old age pensioner for using a plant that she was clearly getting a lot of benefit from. In some ways, it's also a celebratory story of Pat as an individual, someone who was well ahead of their time pushing for medicinal cannabis long before it was legalized in the UK in 2018. Medical cannabis in the UK is a bit weird because it's only available on private prescription. It's extremely expensive. So the millions of people who medicate using black market cannabis have to remain criminals, whilst the privileged individuals who can afford the medical cannabis prescription are no longer criminals. But you know, we wouldn't have even got there without the hard work of cannabis activists like Pat and others.